All I have to say is she's incriminating herself. Hey guys, it's your girl Cameron, and I'm back at it again with yet another video. And today we're back. We're here to talk about Lizzo. She's currently being sued by 3 dancers about her allegedly weight shaming her dancers, partaking in sexual harassment, and fostering an unsafe work environment, unfair pay, etc., unjust firing. And all of these allegations have come to light. And this had me thinking about how celebrities in particular are not who they always seem to be. What happens when the brand isn't matching with the actions? And we all know Lizzo stands for, or we thought her brand stood for, body positivity, uplifting others. But based on this lawsuit, she's not walking the walk. This seems like a plot twist. Like somebody completely flipped and reversed the script. So we're going to talk about an artist and their brand. We're going to talk about why parasocially we have to start disconnecting and taking celebrities' words at face value. Because at the end of the day, this is a business. And I also want to get into some of these allegations to shed some light on these 3 dancers who have the courage to even come out with this news. So please like, comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you would like to see more commentary content just like this one. Thanks for watching, and let's just get straight into the video. So I want to make this very clear before we get into this commentary. There are a lot of people who were always looking for a reason to legitimately dislike Lizzo. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a fan of her music. However, I rooted for her. I felt like her messaging was helping a lot of women, young girls live in their truth and be who they want to be and be comfortable in that. But I will say that I can tell that there are people who are attacking this situation and saying, I knew something was up with her. You know, I knew I didn't like her, but I think a lot of people were looking for a justified reason to dislike her other than because of her weight. But the lawsuit on Tuesday hit the outlets that Lizzo was being sued by 3 of her dancers, and they were alleging body shaming, alleging inappropriate behavior, not just from Lizzo, but from her inappropriate details outlined in this lawsuit, and I'll play some of this information.
When the artist arranged for the dance crew to visit Amsterdam's red light district. In the complaint, the plaintiffs accuse Lizzo of, quote, inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers at an adult club, and specifically goading Davis when she refused to.
Didn't see that coming. We've also heard some issues about her implying potential weight gain with one of her dancers.
At South by Southwest, that was the first time I had showed up to a Lizzo event or gig, noticeably having gained weight. There was nothing different about me. My performance skills were the same. My demeanor was the same. My energy was the same. The only thing that was different about me was my weight. And in this meeting, she stated as well that, you know, dancers get fired for gaining weight. To single me out in that moment. But when she looked at me and she said that, I was kind of like, so she's really concerned about my weight.
Also, the dance captain was shaming dancers for their sexual choices while also recounting sexual desires and fantasies unwarrantedly to the dancers. One dancer actually felt like she was unjustly fired after she stood up to Lizzo.
To which she then brought up the allegations of us drinking before shows. I raised my hand to speak. She allowed me to speak. And in that moment, I let her know that, you know, we never partook in those activities and that we would never put ourselves, her, or the show or our jobs in jeopardy. And days later, one of her tour managers terminated me in a hotel lobby.
And she feels that she was fired for speaking up and that this was used as a scare tactic. So from what we're gathering is it sounds like Lizzo is not a pleasant person to work for, work with, work under. And if I'm being quite honest, when these allegations came out, I was kind of like, you know what? I don't know. This might not be true. And as a dancer, I am inclined to believe dancers 9 times out of 10 because I know a lot of dancers who work with celebrities who say, you know, it's not always as it's cracked up to be. Hearing that this was from the dancers automatically had my spidey senses ringing like this might be true, but allegations are allegations. But then we had a former producer for a documentary on Lizzo, who came out and said, yeah, I had a very unpleasant experience with her. She was very egotistical, she was very disrespectful, and I had to quit. I just want to point out how this post outlines, saying Lizzo creates an extremely toxic and hostile working environment and undermines the work, labor, and authority of other Black and brown women in the process. Notice how the documentary ended up being directed by a cis white male. She's a narcissistic bully and has built her brand off lies. I was excited to support and protect a Black woman through the documentary process, but quickly learned her image and message was a curated facade. Another person who worked on that production co-signed, and more dancers came out, former dancers, outlining Lizzo's unfair, uncouth practices and how she treats people. And so when all of this came out, I said, oh, y'all can't be lying. So here we are today. And now that we're given this information, she's made no statements quite yet. So as of August 3rd, Lizzo did make a post to her Instagram denying these claims. I highly recommend you pause the video if you want to read these, because I'm just going to put all of them up. She's obviously denying the claims, as I would expect. And she mostly references the body shaming instance rather than the sexual harassment. So we'll see how this plays out in court. And we're left with what Lizzo has given us, her brand. This is the most conflicting, maybe one of the biggest plot twists of 2023. Because when did Lizzo become Abby Lee Miller? It's almost like you're watching a movie and the person you've been rooting for the whole time turns into the villain, and it's just like, wait, what? I thought the whole time you were cool, but you were really stabbing me in the back. That's what this was giving. I want to talk about it. So an artist and their brand. Why is this so important, and why are people so shocked by this? An artist's brand is the heart of their appeal when connecting to their fans. And it's a marketing technique and tactic that is needed. You need to have some sort of brand. Preferably nowadays, a message, right? Because a lot of consumers want to relate and connect with their favorite artists. When we grow connected to somebody's music, we hope that they are somewhat living in their truth and the way that they're encouraging others to live, right? So that it's not a complete facade, right? It's kind of like a politician who says one thing and does the complete opposite. But we're used to them. They're playing a game, right? But when it comes to some of our favorite artists, they're making music. Music is art and can be very vulnerable. So you're hoping that wherever these emotions are coming from a real place. And I acknowledge we're all human beings and we're all flawed in our own right. But this sounds like a major character flaw. This sounds like who she is. It doesn't just sound like a slip up. There was allegedly a 12-hour rehearsal that was like an excruciating process where she was threatening to cut certain dancers. One of the dancers said she soiled her pants because she was too afraid to like go to the bathroom. Mind you, these are grown adults. So there was definitely a very fear-based environment, very unsafe environment made. And through reactions to this news, I can see her fans are genuinely hurt, genuinely feel bamboozled. And there's been conflicting narratives, right? There's people on the internet who are like,
this is why you guys should not expect anything from celebrities. Why are you surprised? You guys are too obsessed and too connected, emotionally attached to your favorite artist.
But what people have to understand is somebody like Lizzo, whose whole brand, she's made her entire identity, it's pouring into other people. She was literally a week ago brought that little girl on stage and gassing her up in front of everybody. So when you go out of your way to create this persona, you know, it can be pretty sadistic when you are actively doing the opposite of what you preach. What people also need to get with this case is representation matters. There's not been a plus size pop star who was unapologetic like Lizzo. She was really putting on. And I can understand how it's like a false prophet. You feel like, oh my gosh, this person sees me. I connect to their music. I connect to her. She seems like she's very similar to who she is in her music, in real life. And then poof, to have that all dissolved, it's very disappointing. And as somebody who's not even a Lizzo fan, I'm absolutely shocked. It's really interesting because in her song Rumors, she says this.
Had to cut some hoes loose, yeah. Indy ain't no loose lips. Now them hoes tryna sue me. Bitch, I don't give two shits.
That line was almost kind of like NDA, snitch. Girl, I don't know if you were predicting the future. Somebody said, Lizzo's a rapper because she's dry snitching on herself in her song. And we know rappers are notorious for incriminating themselves. As, let's say, a dancer who has done a music video, who has done backup dancing. I've had great experience with the artists I've worked with, but there is this fine line between the artist and dancer relationship, right? Some artists are very close and very involved with their dancers and others are not.
There is so many instances where dancers who did, have fun with her and, go along with like what she was doing and, be down for anything, that they were favored, they were hired for more shows, they were invited on, like private jets, and there was no line between professionalism and personal. And so we had in our minds that if we weren't, down for anything, that we would then be ostracized later. It was this unspoken thing in the camp that if you weren't super fun, and then therefore not be booked for as many jobs.
But dancers have been fighting to be treated with respect, because respectfully, we make a lot of the show. We are that live visual component that, like, when you can't dance, we're back here hyping up the crowd, or we're accentuating you, or we are an asset. So we should be treated as such. And for the dance captain to particularly be abusing her power, it's like we should all be sticking together. It doesn't surprise me. The dance industry can be very catty. But it sounds like her and Lizzo had this intimidation tactic going. Miss Religious, who was imposing her religious belief on the girls, posted on social media this video.
God is so, so good. God loves you so, 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 so much. Glory to God. I just want to remind you that He is love. He is truth. He is the light. He is the first and the last.
All I have to say is she's incriminating herself. My point is to say that between an artist and a brand, you can't be upset that people are shocked. I know some people think, oh, it's ridiculous. You guys are too invested. You guys should never even know. We are all influenced by perceptions. We create our own perceptions of people. We are human. We are people. But it's differentiating that healthy line between the two. And I don't blame people for being upset, shocked, or hurt by this information just because of how Lizzo went about her branding. Now let's talk about it. Celebs are different with their workers than other celebrities. Celebrities can be one way with one person and completely different with someone else. We've seen it. Someone particularly brought up SZA. They said, a couple months ago, SZA was on live with Lizzo talking about how Lizzo's like the greatest person she's ever met.
I fuck with you because you accept me for like who I am. Like when I come over to your house, and it wasn't like you gave me permission verbally. You just like created this safe space where it's like, oh, I could like unbutton my jeans and take my wig off.
And so some people are like, wait a minute, after all this information has come out, like, who's lying? Because all these celebrities have said really great and gracious things about Lizzo, but now her dancers are coming out. And two things can be very true. Here's the tea. Some celebrities will treat their quote-unquote equals with respect, with dignity, like a normal human being. But anybody who works for them or who is quote-unquote below them, they don't treat those people with the same respect. And we see this time and time again, where people will be cool with people who benefit them. This is not just with celebrities, this is in real life. But celebrity relationships, that's why you hear accounts of like, well, all these celebrities get along with this person, X, Y, and Z, but everybody's saying this person's a bitch in real life.
So next up we have Kendall Jenner. This is another one where I unfortunately did not have the best experience with them. She used to come in all the time and was pretty cold towards staff. She also usually has someone speak for her. Next up we have Mrs. Bieber. This is gonna be controversial. I've met her a handful of times and every time she was not nice.
Two things can be true at once, and it sounds like Lizzo has that case of putting on a really good face for her peers, people who she sees as equals to the people who are below her. She might feel differently, like she has the authority to do that. I don't know if she feels that way because she's paying them. I don't know. once more people started coming out in solidarity with these dancers, I was like, this can't all be fake. And this shows that you do have to take what people say at face value. You really don't know these people. You don't know them. You don't know what they're like. You don't know who they are. And it's cool to champion people. And I don't fault people for standing and defending Lizzo, because people have said some nasty things about her, absolutely. But I think this is a lesson for all of us, that idolizing, putting people on pedestals, we have to be cautious and weary of it. And this kind of brings me to what happened a couple weeks ago with Doja Cat. Doja Cat basically alienated her fans, called them out, and essentially was like, I don't care about you guys like that. I don't know you. You need to get a job, get a life. Stop worrying about mine. I think this situation gave a lot of people a hard dose of reality that these celebrities don't owe you anything. As much as it is the proper and polite thing to thank your fans and to, practice what you preach, great. It would be lovely in a perfect world. But Doja Cat even said it to her fans, you don't know me. To be fair, she's not wrong for that. But there is a certain decency that you would hope that your favorite artist has, because you're keeping the lights on. If you didn't have listeners, you wouldn't have a career. For all of those people around you who support you, there should be boundaries, but there's a way you go about it. And I think Doja Cat's situation, coming so close to this Lizzo thing, already had me in the mode of thinking you know what? A lot of these celebrities ain't shit. Just the same way how all these people walking around on the street, these everyday people, a lot of us aren't shit. I am. I try to walk in my truth, and I really genuinely try to be a good person. But there's a lot of people who don't care. In that case, I don't think we should place as much stake in our favorite celebrities, because they can disappoint. However, I acknowledge the situation is just more serious than a he say, she say, a Doja Cat moment. There's literally a lawsuit and dancers who feel abused in some way, shape, or form. So this is absolutely serious. But I'm just saying, on a macro level, what this situation teaches you is to not be shocked by anything. That's why when a celebrity does something, people don't want to believe it. People want to believe what they want to believe. And I think the more that we stop expecting these celebrities to be great people, I think that's when a lot of us can actually look at situations and be real about it and not make hella excuses. You know what I mean? Just lately, celebrity news, even the stuff with Ariana Grande. Love her music. My sister is wrong. She's wrong. I can't even really defend from what's being reported. I can't defend her. But I also can say that there's some people who place so much importance in their favorite people, and they create this parasocial relationship, literally, that they're devastated when some drama comes out about them, or they don't have the balls to call them out. So this is a lesson that celebrities, it's one face for their brand in the public, and sometimes it aligns, and a lot of times it doesn't completely. A brand is a marketing strategy. It's a scheme. It's a way to grow your fan base. Some people are genuine when it comes to that, and some people need a marketing pitch and a ploy. What is my gimmick going to be? And Lizzo was doing a great thing. I think her body positivity movement was helping so many people, but it just sucks that she was the person who was harming the people that she was trying to help, that she was claiming to be uplifting. She was harming those people. And for that, it's very disgusting and disappointing if this is all true. So to conclude the video, I definitely think people are allowed to be disappointed by this. You're allowed to have perceptions/expectations, because as people, we naturally come to those conclusions. You take all of your inference clues, you put them all together, and you start to paint a picture, because we're human. This would be a good thing to chime in the comments. But if all of this is true and this goes to court and she's sued, do you think this is enough to end her career? My answer is I think it could. I'm not going to say end her career. Maybe. And the reason why I say this is because her fan base seems to actively trying to walk in their truth and trying to make the world a better place when it comes to just accepting people for how they are. And I don't think that they will tolerate somebody, again, harming the very people that they're trying to quote unquote protect. And I think her fan base is more positive leaning, as a whole. So I've been seeing a lot of her fans expressing complete contempt by her actions. I think they might be the fan base who won't tolerate that shit. Because how dare you blow smoke up our ass? Fortunately, but unfortunately for her, I don't think she has a fan base that as a whole will tolerate that. She's gonna have a lot of work. And honestly, isn't she on tour right now? Like, is this not awkward? Are all her fans gonna come to her show and be like, bitch, like, I don't even wanna be here, but I just paid $300, so I'ma show up, you know? And as for the dancers suing her, I just wanna say big ups to you. I know a lot of things happen behind the scenes in the industry that AKA you can't talk about. I hope they get justice if this is all true, and coming to peace hopefully with what's happened to them and getting justice and getting some money. Like, comment down below, what do you guys think of this Lizzo situation? Do you think she'll have a career after this, or do you think just the irony of this situation is just too much to bounce back from? And please hit that subscribe button down below if you would like to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.